Okay, I need to confess something. My memory isn't very good. I don't remember much of my growing up. The things I do remember depended on things that happened according to these. My mom would say, "Do you remember when you were 12 and we'd gone to the restaurant and you got food poisoning, you were throwing up?" And I'm like, 12, when I was 12. No, really. Do you remember we went and saw the third movie in that series? Afterward, what did we do? Oh, that's right. We went to lunch and I got so sick and I was throwing up. So that was how I remembered things going through my life, was from movies. I remember we'd go into the theater, there was no captioning, there was no sound. I'd sit there and I'd watch the movie, but I wasn't bored. I was fascinated with the movie. The lighting, the framing, the close-ups, all of these pictures. There was no words, no sound, no nothing, but all those pictures together put together a story. That was so powerful for me. But I remember one movie that is just etched in my brain. This one. Raise your hand if you saw it. Did you see it? Now, I remember when I first went to the theater. I don't remember anything before the theater, but I remember I was sitting there and my mom said, "Hey, are you so excited to be here?" And watching through it, I remember I watched the entire thing and then I cried at the end and it was time to go and I was sad and I didn't want to leave. But one thing that really was some part of the memory was the opening scene. I remember it was night, we were in a forest, something had come down, and there was like a little creature that had scurried off. And then it showed all these cars and trucks coming into that area, and someone got out of the truck, and the film really focused on the feet, and it came up to the waist and it showed keys on a key ring. Didn't show the face. I didn't know who the man was. I didn't know what. I just remembered they failed at capturing whatever it was that scurried off into the suburbs. And then partway through the movie, almost to the end, the creature was dying and the little boy was crying and brought him home to the bathroom on the floor. And then it shows all these cars and trucks and cops and everyone coming in, and a guy again comes out of the truck, and it shows from the feet all the way up to the belt. We don't know what he looked like. We don't know what his job was. But that series of pictures from the truck to all of that, it showed what was going on in the movie. But from then on, I was hooked. I knew that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make movies. I wanted to put together all these pictures, not sign language, not words. And so that was the start of that's when my journey was established. So I was at Gallaudet. I was a film major. And I had a teacher, he passed away, Facundo. He didn't sign, he was hearing, but he didn't want to use the interpreter either. And he said, "I can do this." But we did lots of projects, and one of the projects was this. Visual expression. So previous to that, we'd been worrying about stories and how to tell the story. But he had a hard time explaining this project. He said, "I want you to express yourselves." We're kind of looking at, okay, we'll express ourselves. So he says, "I want to show you what I did at my university. It was kind of weird. There was no clothes, there was no expression on the face. It showed someone mowing a lawn, it showed grass, it showed fire, it showed someone running, no expression on their face. It was very strange, but we were expressing it." He said, "Now I want to let you know there was music, there was sound with this, but this was something about my life." Now, this was a deaf class. He's telling us, "I want you to express yourselves. I don't want you to make it like mine. I don't want you to follow mine." And we really struggled with this, but I couldn't think of words to describe it. When the project was finished, we turned it in. It was good. But that really stuck in my head. But I didn't stay at Gallaudet. I went to RIT. And my major was film tech. So we talked about 50 millimeter films, 35 millimeter films, print, all of these different things, and all of the rules. And I thought, there's rules. Movie has language? Can a movie have language? No, it's not like there's. It's not like that kind of movie language. It was a book, and it showed this list of all of these different things. Do you know what those are? Close up, medium shot, wide shot. If you want to show it where, it was a wide shot. It was a house, it showed the landscaping, it showed the guy with the hat, with the scar sticking out, next to a tree maybe. Close up showed mostly just the face, but it emphasized the emotions through a close up. But there's all these different terms. There's the tilt, there's the zoom, there's so much vocabulary. In a nutshell, this is showing the movie. There's a little boy, and he's very poor. He's hungry, and there's a voice that tells about what's going on. He doesn't have any parents, and there was fighting or war in another country, and here's a little boy that's left home. You're supposed to feel bad for him, but you're hearing along the same lines, either the music or the narration of what's happening in the story. And I thought, in a deaf movie, how would that be? But look, there's this many terms, this much language, this much grammar of film. And at the opening of the movie, you'd see all these conflicts that would come up in the movie. And then by the end of the movie, there was all these things that the complex built up to the climax, and then it would be resolved. In America, there's always a happy ending. Always a happy ending. But you had to follow those rules. You needed to follow the rules. And we were encouraged to follow all of that with this grammar, film grammar. So I wanted to follow all of this, follow all these rules, and put them into a deaf movie. That was hard. Now I'm going to go to the screen where I can stop the camera. Thank you.